A smart fat burner, Infinity powered Burn IQ from MuscleTech. A nootropic fat burner, but also a pre-workout. A whole bunch of different things that you can take kind of at a lot of different points in your day, but most of you are going to use this before your workout. Burn IQ features Infinity, the new patented paraxanthine from ING2, ingenious ingredients. We're super excited about this ingredient. Most of you guys are too. If you're new to it, we're going to be talking a lot about it in this video, but as you guys know, we always take it from the top. So let's talk about the ingredients in Burn IQ and what you can expect and what they'll do for you. Right off the top, we've got L-carnitine L-tartrate. L-carnitine is really popular in fat burner type products. L-carnitine L-tartrate has some specific claims to it, but in general, L-carnitine is going to take fatty acids and help you use them better for energy. That means you're going to be producing more ATP from fat, also kind of increasing the metabolic activity of brown adipose tissue, which is really cool. It's kind of like the fat that is more metabolically active. You can use it for energy more regularly. You don't store it for as long, but L-carnitine L-tartrate itself actually is really helpful for athletes because it helps lower muscle tissue damage from training, helps recover faster. I really like this version. I'm not really big on carnitines all the time, but L-carnitine L-tartrate is a good favorite of mine because of the activity it has for athletes, helping them recover, help lowering muscle tissue damage from training. But from there, we get into some more traditional stuff like 1500 milligrams of tyrosine. Now, tyrosine itself is traditional. These dosages are raising up over time. I'm super excited about the fact that MuscleTech's using a big dosage. I think the elephant in the room, which I'm not afraid to address, is MuscleTech. We don't talk that much about MuscleTech over the last couple of years, but in the grand scheme of the industry, MuscleTech has brought a lot of innovation to market. Maybe a lot of you guys haven't been as excited about them over the last couple of years, but this formula itself actually has a lot of hard-hitting stuff here, and 1500 milligrams of tyrosine definitely starts that. Now, tyrosine is really helpful for your thyroid. That has a lot to do with metabolism, but honestly, I'm not going to go down that route too much. I don't think that has that much of an impact on fat burning. I'm being real with you guys here. Tyrosine, I see really as a pre-workout focus ingredient. Of course, it has some implications for thyroid. It will have some parts important for metabolism, and Mike really likes to talk about that. But most of you are going to take this before you go train, and I think that the most important part is the focus you're going to get from tyrosine. It's a precursor to things like dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, catecholamines that are going to be really helpful for focus, kind of putting those blinders on you before you get in the gym. I'm a big fan of high-dose tyrosine. A gram is usually where we start, so 1500 milligrams is very much welcome. For there, we also hit taurine, a whole gram of that, very standard. Taurine is one of the most helpful ingredients for athletes. I'm super happy they included it in here. It also helps out with brown adipose tissue conversion from white adipose. Again, making your fat tissue more easily available for energy. Not something that you're gonna notice in the acute, but long-term using this product, definitely a very helpful thing. Taurine, really most known for its ergogenic benefits for athletes. So when you're taking this, literally the first dosage, like 1 gram of it, the first time you take it improves performance in the gym. It's not something you have to load over time. It's not like creatine or anything like that. You take it one time and it works. It's also super helpful for hydration, which is kind of good for fat burning because there's gonna be some things in here that might help you sweat a little bit more. So making sure that you're holding on to water in a healthy amount is going to be really important. Now, we've got green coffee bean extract here, which is decaffeinated. Kind of important to note, there's not going to be any extra caffeine from here in addition to the other caffeine, but this is going to be standardized for 45% chlorogenic acids, 400 milligrams. So a study actually recently came out on this from phytotherapy research stating that this specific extract itself can help release fatty acids from stored body fat, meaning they can be burned by the body for more energy. Really going along with a lot of these other ingredients in here. Not a lot of like stimulant burn you up type ingredients, more ergogenic stuff that's gonna be helpful converting fat into energy. So maybe not something that's gonna make you really uncomfortable, which is probably good because MuscleTech is a very widespread company. They distribute internationally, and that's gonna be important that they're not getting many adverse reactions from this. Ingredients that really do help you get into a better place for burning fat. And that's where we get into the fun stuff here. Paraxanthine itself at 300 milligrams. Now, paraxanthine is a metabolite of caffeine. So when I talked about before decaffeinated stuff and pairing with other caffeines, there's actually no caffeine in here. Paraxanthine itself actually is a metabolite that caffeine creates in the body, and it's the good metabolite as opposed to the bad metabolites, right? Theophylline, theobromine, and paraxanthine are the 3 metabolites you get from caffeine. And a lot of the side effects that you get from caffeine, like crashing or jitters or higher blood pressure and heart rate, are going to come from theophylline and theobromine. Now, theobromine is kind of regularly used. I don't necessarily see it as all that bad, but theophylline itself is actually considered to be a drug and very much an uncomfortable ingredient to utilize. So why not key in on paraxanthine itself, the most positive and beneficial metabolite? Well, that's exactly what ingenious ingredients did here. Now, caffeine itself is a really great fat burner. It's why it's pretty much the mainstay of most fat burners, and paraxanthine really keys in on that benefit right there. And if you're a person that doesn't metabolize caffeine very well, meaning it stays stays in your system long, you feel uncomfortable, you get a lot of those bad side effects, paraxanthine is definitely something that you should look at, because it's probably most likely, I mean, I'm not guaranteeing this, but most likely going to be a lot more comfortable for you to utilize. It's got a shorter half-life, so if you are a person that it affects you for a longer amount of time, you're going to be able to use it later in the day. I'm not saying take it at 10 o'clock at night before you go to bed, but you might be a little bit more comfortable using it post-work if you want to go work out after you're done with your work for the day. And most importantly here, it's a safe ingredient. This comes from Ingenious Ingredients. The guys behind this are also at N&B. They make a lot of other really incredible ingredients that we're really happy about, excited about, and they always test out great. So in any case, I hope you guys get to try this out, because this ingredient really is the big one in this product, and we're really excited about it here at PricePlow. After that, we get Coleus for Scully. It's gonna be 200 milligrams standardized for 10% for Scully. Now this activates C-amp, kind of the opposite of mTOR, and there's a lot of misunderstandings about that. I'm not gonna get too far into that, but this really upregulates your fat burning in your body. Studies show that when this was combined with, of course, calorie restricted diet, subjects reported better body composition, better blood lipids, and better insulin sensitivity relative to placebo controls. It stabilizes appetite a little bit better. I'm not a big fan of appetite suppressants. I don't think that people should want to eat less. I think they should eat better, but as a whole, if you suffer from cravings and stuff like that, it is very helpful. From there, we also look at Grains of Paradise at 40 milligrams. Grains of Paradise is a really cool ingredient that helps, again, with the conversion of white adipose tissue into brown adipose. This is kind of what I consider to be the most effective ingredient for doing that. And like I said before, white adipose tissue itself is very big for long-term storage of energy. Brown adipose tissue, which is brown because it's more active, is a more short-term usage of energy. It's going to store that there so you can use it more quickly. So converting long-term storage into short-term storage is going to be a great step into getting into better body composition. We've also got aXivite here, a phenylcapsaicin supplement. This is going to be 1% capsaicin extract. And this might be what makes the flavor a little bit spicier, just so you know when you take this product. Capsaicin itself is the portion of peppers that make them spicy. When they add that phenyl group to that capsaicin, it helps stabilize the ingredient, making more consistent results. But once it's metabolized, it functions exactly the same as capsaicin. A 2017 research review, reviewing the research around this, found that capsaicin supplementation is consistent with associated with fat loss, and this effect appeared even at doses as low as 6 milligrams per day. And we've got 30 milligrams here. Again, one of the biggest pathways for this anti-obesity effect is the conversion of, you guessed it, white adipose tissue into brown adipose tissue. Now, rounding out on the back end here, we've got a couple of simple ingredients that are definitely useful. Black pepper extract is a ingredient absorption enhancer, but actually, there's another claim that we like to talk about it for fat burners. Since this ingredient actually increases the expression of GLUT4, which is a protein that stimulates muscle cells to take up glucose, this is actually kind of helpful for insulin sensitivity. And we want glucose to be in muscle cells. We don't want it to be really anywhere else because you can utilize it better that way. This has actually been proven to be a pretty helpful agent in fat burning. And lastly, of course, huperzine A. We see this in a lot of focus ingredient products. And like we said, this is going to be a more nootropic-y fat burner. Huperzine A helps keep acetylcholine around longer. Now, this wasn't actually paired with a choline donor in this case. This is just making sure that acetylcholine stays around longer. And acetylcholine is going to be dubbed by most people as the learning neurotransmitter. It's very helpful for learning, remembering, and stuff like that, cognitive flexibility, but it's really important in training. Training depletes acetylcholine very quickly. So keeping it around longer is going to be very helpful for keeping that focus longer. All in all, we've talked a lot about paraxanthine recently. The enfinity patented version of this is something we're really excited about. And MuscleTech actually has the exclusive on it for right now. So if you want to try out this ingredient, you either have to use their EuphoriQ or their Burn IQ. They also have Burn IQ pills, which I'll be talking about very soon. But for now, kind of talking about the powder. This is a really fun, great tasting product. I definitely think you guys should give it a try. As always, guys, I do have to say we got this product for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with MuscleTech. But I hope this video was educational and informative for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.